Hi, everybody. Welcome back. And it is Wednesday, the 27th, or Thursday, the 28th. And again, today I will review what we did the last time. And I'm so glad you're all here. So let's go over last time stuff. Okay, so last time we reviewed and took a little quiz on the types of poetry stanza chart. So again, you were able to open up the poetry folder and you could use your own document. That was the second thing down, the types of poems stanza chart, if you chose to do that, and that was graded. But you also got to use that on the quiz that we did in class, the timed quiz, the quiz here, okay, for 125, 126 timed test. So that was one thing that we did last time. Another thing we did is we reviewed speaker of poem and dialect notes. So remember, you should have your notes going on from chapter or from the poetry unit, and then you can understand that dialect is how people talk in a certain group or region of people. So other people have different dialects. They sound a little bit different from different parts of the world. That's dialect. Speaker of the poem in poetry is you usually have to figure out who the speaker is. It doesn't necessarily say it straight out. It doesn't say, that it's this age of a boy or a girl or whatever it is. So you have to oftentimes figure out who is the speaker. It's also through tone. What's the attitude of the speaker? Like, how do they feel about a given subject based on the words that they use or the things that they say? And mood, the atmosphere created during the poem. So all of those come across by the way the speaker talks and the words that are used in the poem. So I'm trying to scroll down here. My document's being kind of not cooperating. Okay, so here's dialect, language of a particular group of people or within a particular region. Okay, so that is dialect listed there. Comparing types of poems, that was also the chart that you were able to use on your notes. Okay, so talked about speaker of the poem and also dialect. Speaker is through mood and tone. So those were some things that we talked about last time when we had class. So those would be parts of the notes that you get to use on the test today for our timed test. So that would be a couple of things that we worked on. And I also went over the poetry unit writing assignment, which I will do right now. This is in the poetry folder. This is coming due next week. So you should be working through this after the test today. So the creative writing project, you're going to write and create your own poem, but you have to have certain parts within your poem. So you're going to be writing a 20-line poem using the different topics that we've been studying. Okay, so you need a title on your poem. You need to use your 5 senses. You need to have alliteration. Again, we went through that. That's the repetition of sound at the beginning of words. Assonance is repeating vowel sounds. Consonance is the repeating of consonant sounds, so not the vowels. Simile, comparing using like or as. Metaphor, no like or as, but it's a comparison. Personification is when you make something person-like that's not human. Onomatopoeia is words that sound like they're spelled. So what you're going to do is create a poem, add some imagery if you don't have enough using your senses, tell what kind of figurative language is evident. So all of these things, which figurative language do you have in your poem? If you don't have some, add it. Paraphrase, what's the poem about in your own words? Explain the theme. Does it have rhyme scheme or some sort of rhyme? Okay, so there are other student poems if you would like to read other student poetry there. And then the link for the scoring rubric is here. You're graded, if you look at this rubric, this is exactly how I'm going to grade you. So you will be graded on different areas such as word choice, vivid words and language. Examples of imagery are present, excellent examples. Grammar, there are no spelling mistakes or grammar errors in your poem. Personality or voice, write from your own experiences, fresh, detailed theme and paraphrase evident. Literary devices, that's like, did you use 6 of those things? The literary devices such as similes, metaphors, figurative language also includes onomatopoeia, sensory language, and those things listed on the sheet. Back at this part where it says, all of these things are figurative language right in here, okay? So that's part of the scoring rubric. And then did you have 20 lines or more and done on time? Okay, then you would get a perfect score under length of assignment and rules. So all of those things are part of the scoring rubric. Again, they're on this document. So you would type your poem in on this document right in this big box, and it'll stretch out as you type. Then give 3 examples of imagery from your poem. In which sense? Is it sight, taste, hearing, touch, feel? What's the figurative language that you used? If you don't have any, you might have to go back in and add some to your poem above. What's the poem about? What's the theme? What's the message in this poem? What am I supposed to learn from reading this poem? And then explain it and how it relates to real life. And do you have rhyme or rhythm or any pattern within your poem, and explain what it is? You might have a rhyme scheme. Sometimes we make our poems rhyme, but you don't have to. So that's your creative writing project to work on after the test today. Again, that is in the poetry folder, as you see here, the kind of the dark pink poetry folder, and it's the create your own poem assignment after today's quiz test. So go back to my slideshow here. So that's what you'll be working on after the test today. When I stop my video, we're going to do a quizzes for practice and a Quizlet. So we'll complete those. We'll take the test for benchmark 7 poetry notes. So what I want you to do is go in and open up your own poetry notes, poetry unit notes doc. You get to use that for the test. So have that open. Don't open up the test quite yet because we're going to do a little review. So have your notes ready. And then after we do a little review here, then you will have time to complete the test. Then working on your create your own poem assignment. So I'm going to stop my video. We'll do the review, quizzes and Quizlets and stuff. You'll take the test, and then you will have time to work on your own poem.